So for the past 12 months, I've had countless people flooding my inbox asking me about what's the next big stock? What's the next big Nvidia, man? So today's video, I'm gonna dedicate on how we can screen and find winning stocks to add to our portfolio, man. So when starting out on your investing journey, man, of course, we all want to hit the ground running. We all want to start in the game, put a little amount of money in and pull out a big amount of money, man. I myself was that way, and I know probably you watching have that kind of same mindset as well. But I'm here to tell you straight away, the quicker you get in the game and learn that that isn't the way how it works, you've got to really put some time into this game. And I understand losses come with this game. It's a prerequisite. You cannot avoid them. The quicker you get to the losses is the quicker you can get to that promised land of making profits in this portfolio. Okay, so today it's all about finding and how we can really look at finding winning stocks. Now, this isn't the only way to do this. This seems to be the way that's working for me. It's my personal way, one of my personal ways, which I want to give to you. And by using this, definitely you can transform your portfolio to start printing profits for you, man. So the first thing we need to do before we press buy on any stock, before we even essentially download our investing accounts, we need to start building a watch list. What's a watch list? So a watch list is literally a list of companies, of stocks, which you found, you like the idea of, you may have even heard elsewhere, and you put them on a list, okay, whether that's electronically or put them on a pen to paper. I prefer pen to paper myself. And you build this list out, okay? And the way we do that, we look at what's working in the market right now. Because I know there's multiple stocks out there, there's thousands. You see them all every day on Instagram, on social media, even on TV. You may be watching CNBC and the stock news, and you're going to see all these ticker symbols flying at you, okay? And it's going to be overwhelming, especially for a beginner, man. Myself, it was definitely that way. Now, the way to slim that down and cut the fat off, should we say, is any company you find, or even you can just go into Google and type in the most profitable businesses, okay? You could put like the top 100 profitable businesses of 2024 or whatever year, okay? I know we're in 2025 now. So you can even do that. Now, that isn't the way to invest, okay? That isn't to say that we get that list and we just put money into those. No, that's a starting point. That is just the surface level. So once we've got those stocks, the most profitable businesses, because that's where we want to start, especially when you're a beginner. Before you start picking stocks, you want companies that are already producing the goods, already producing the sauce, already profitable, because profit equals stock price going up, because investors love companies that make profits. So find businesses that are profitable. Now make sure when you find these businesses, okay, they need to be of a certain size. What do I mean by that? You may have heard the term market cap, how big it is, okay? For reference, a company like Apple or Nvidia, we're talking trillions of dollars size of market cap, okay? So those are great businesses because one, they're big dogs, they've got cash on hand, they're super profitable, and they're leading the charge. Now, those aren't the only stocks you need to be invested in. Stocks that are also of a mid-size cap are also something you need to look into, because mid-cap stocks are in that middle ground. It's what it says on the tin. They are in that trajectory to start growing to become larger capitalized stocks, okay? The minimum you want to really be looking at is mid-cap stocks, because yes, they are ones that are in that mid-range, they're in that upward trajectory, they're on that curve of becoming a larger cap business, okay? So these are great gems to start looking at. So the first thing, like we said, is looking at profitable businesses. The second, the minimum you want to be looking at is mid-cap. So anything from mid-cap upwards is where we need to be looking and adding to our list, okay? The third thing we want to add in there is looking at the businesses, okay? When we pull up the businesses, are they in an uptrend? Are they actually trading to the upside? Is their stock going upwards over time? That's what we want to see. Now, no stock is going to be linear. No stock is going to go straight up, okay? That's not how the game works. But we need to see that the trend, the overall trend and direction is going upwards, okay? Those three things are where we start in screening to add to our watch list, all right? Very, very important that we tick those three off our list. So once you've compiled your list of best stocks in the market, or those best stocks for that year, okay, whatever that list is, it may be 100 stocks on there, it may be 50 stocks, it may be just 20, 30 stocks, which is a nice spot you want to really get them down to, is a screening around about anywhere between 15 to 30 stocks that you've got on your list at any given time where you can monitor. Keep it manageable. Now that's a reference to you. Obviously 100 stocks isn't going to be anywhere relative or relevant to the average day person who works 9 to 5, who's got kids, who's married, etc. You haven't got time to research 100 stocks. You're not doing it for a living. So keep it small, keep it nice and neat so that you can manage it. Me personally, I like anywhere between that 20 to 30 that I've got on my list that I'm really looking into and watching throughout the year how they behave. Now, this is the greatest place to start, is getting that watch list before you even press buy on any stock. The reason is it allows you to really learn and understand what it takes to find a good business before you put your hard-earned money into it. Now, I do empathize, man, because people, they don't know where to start. No one's teaching this. No one's showing you really where to start. Everyone's just saying, get into the game, which isn't practical, okay? So I understand that it is a daunting thing, and especially with the abundance of information that gets thrown in our face every single day. You've got social media, you've got stocks popping up on TikTok, all sorts, people talking about them everywhere. Even on TV, you're seeing it on magazines now. And the key indicator is, when times are getting wary, is when you start hearing like your barber or your hairdresser talking about stocks. The everyday average person, when they're talking about stock picks, that's when we need to be quiet and really put our ear to the street and do some research, because at that point it's getting a mess, and that's where people start losing money, because they're hearing stock picks based on TikTok, based on Instagram, based on people have made XYZ. And yeah, that's cool. People may have made money, but by the time you hear about it, that move's already gone, and it's going to result in you losing some serious money. So don't go down that route. Keep it simple. Get your list intact. Like I said, build that list of great stocks for your portfolio. Build that great list of profitable businesses that are uptrending, that you can really potentially buy to add to your portfolio, man, because that's what's going to print the returns for you. And if you think about it, man, the common sense is that if you're looking for great stocks, no different to how a bird of prey looks for its meal, okay? Like a hawk scouring the valley. They're not just gonna aimlessly fly around the whole sky and hope to find what they're gonna find. They're gonna predicate their vision on a fertile area where prey is, where they know, where the behaviors have been, where the track record is from prey. They're gonna go straight there because they know that is rife. That is a rife playground for prey that they can pick off. It's the same thing we find in stocks. Hit those 3 metrics, like we said before. Profitable business, make sure they're of a minimum size of a mid-cap business, and are they uptrending over time, whether that's the past year. And my personal favorite is to look at a stock over the last 5 years. That gives you a real good picture, an overview, a bird's eye view of how it's really performing, because anyone could do great in a year. But 5 years tells me that, okay, we've got some source here. We've got something to work with, man. And anything past 5 years, if they're super profitable for 10 years and the trajectory is on path, listen, that is going to absolutely kill in the portfolios, man. And statistically, it shows that any business that is profitable for 10 years consecutively, you've actually got around about a 6% chance of losing any money in that stock, okay? So start with those 3 months. That's gonna really fast track you, one, on your learning, and also avoiding those pitfalls, those heavy financial pitfalls, man. But unfortunately, I had to suffer, man. So I've been through it. I'm saving you for the burden, because when I first got into the game, I lost about 2 grand, okay? And at the time, for reference, I was earning about £250 a week. So you can imagine what kind of burden, what kind of sting that left on me, man, okay? And one of the realest things I've ever heard is that if you don't know who you are, the stock market is a very expensive place to find out, all right? So make sure, take the time, take a breather, do your research, find those great stocks, okay? Find that pool of businesses that you've got on your list that you can absolutely look into, dive into, and eventually then you can put your hard-earned money into to print those portfolio returns that we want. So also, what's very important, okay? And now, hear me out when I say this, okay? Because of course, when we're starting out, most of us don't have a lot of money. I was the same. I'm guessing you're going to be the same as well. But what we need to get out of the habit of is just looking at price on stocks. Don't base your investment decisions on the price you feel you can afford today. That's not a good strategy. Now, I look at value. What's the value of the business providing me? Because value and price are two separate things. And for such a long time in my life, I always base my life decisions around price opposed to value. That's very, very important, okay? So stop looking at the cheapest, because the cheapest doesn't equate to the best returns. The stock will dictate how the performance goes, whatever the price is. The price is just a reflection of what the investors are willing to pay, all right? So if you see a very expensive stock, yes, sometimes it may not be adding up to its value, but investors believe and investors are willing to pay that premium, so that results in the stock trending up. And that tends to be what era we're in right now, okay? Very much so, especially from 2024 going into now, we're seeing overinflated valuations where the stock price isn't warranting the price. But I'll be real, as an investor, I'm not gonna complain. I'm gonna keep investing, like your Nvidias, like your Amazons, you know, your MicroStrategies, companies like this, man, where their valuations are huge and they're not actually producing the dollar amount relative to the value of the business. But the stock goes up, the investors pile in, the trend goes up. And I like to be a part of that, man. That's just capitalism. And if you didn't know, the stock market is just a digital representation of human emotions. That's all the stock market is. There's buyers and sellers. It's not just random electronic, you know, things moving up and down on a screen. It is human emotion personified in a digital representation. Because we keep looking at stocks that are just cheap and, you know, stocks that people are always talking about because they're cheap. They're these value traps, and that's cool. You can play the value game, no issue with that. People do that, people win at that. But if you keep just looking at price, you're going to end up with stocks like, you know, Aston Martin, or stocks like, I don't know, Virgin Galactic, where they were buzz topics at the time because they were super cheap. You could buy countless shares for like £100. Like, you could get a bunch of shares, and people thought it was cool. People thought that, yeah, they're going to make money on this, and that's not a way to build a portfolio. And if you look at those stocks, they're in the toilet, man. You haven't made any money on those stocks. So avoid that early on. Don't just look at price. Look at the value of the business and what they're providing you. Like we said, are they profitable? That is your bread and butter. That is the 101 thing you need to know about the business. And if they're not profitable, is management in position to show you that the business is on track to be profitable? That's very important. And if they can't do that, it's a no-go. Don't go near that stock. So once you've got that list of stocks, like we said, simply, you've narrowed it down now. You've got your 15 to 30 stocks. Now, out of those 15 to 30 stocks, if the majority are doing really well and they all seem to be in the same sector, let's just say 10 out of those 20 stocks are in the healthcare sector, that tells me immediately that the healthcare sector is rewarding investors. So I need to be looking in that direction. I don't need to be a contrarian. I don't need to go against the grain. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. The market's never wrong. The market will tell you what direction the trend is moving in. So if the trend is healthcare this particular year, that means I need to start focusing on these healthcare businesses and start digging a little bit deeper into them. Start looking at their product, their service, what they actually offer, what's their unique advantage. Once I narrow that down, that's when I know that I can pull the trigger on one of these businesses, because now I've got profitability, it's meeting my metrics, the market's rewarding these businesses, and also the business is providing either a product or service that is unique to the space. Now, all I've got to do after that is work out if this can be sustainable, if this business can continue this trajectory. That way, we form something called a thesis, pretty much an educated guess, okay? Now, that's more than enough of creating a narrative that we can invest in now. Now we've got a story, because investors need stories. That's what keeps things going. Like we said before, it's human emotion. No one knows what's going to happen tomorrow, but we create these stories, we create these narratives based on half data, half emotion, and you marry the two together and then you get your thesis. That's very important. Now, that doesn't happen overnight. My thesis is ever growing, it's ever developing. Over the last 5 years, my trajectory has massively changed and my investing style has slightly changed. Through that development, now my profits are skyrocketing because I'm refining my approach. I'm refining my investment strategy, man. And with these tools, you can do exactly that, okay? So next time you're looking at investing in a business, use these metrics. Like I said, these are practical things you can actually do. No one's actually telling you what to do. They're just saying what to buy, but that's low-hanging fruit. That is not anything of substance. That's not going to help you. Yes, you may get lucky, hit a home run, but after that, that's not going to serve you. So use these metrics, apply this next time you're thinking about investing in any business, man. And if you got any value from this video, support the channel, like, comment, subscribe. We'll continue the conversation in the comments. Share this out with anyone that you feel would get any value from this, man. And look, I'll see you in that next video. Take care.